Hey, welcome back to 7th century philosophy in music and spirituality, because I believe that everything that we do as creative people also ties deeply into our spiritual side as human beings. Whether you are spiritual in nature or not, whether you're religious or not, it doesn't really matter. I believe that at some point, as a human being, as a creative person especially, there's an element of what you do that has a spiritual element to it. But putting that aside, let's talk about something that I want to talk about today, which is more of a philosophical aspect in nature. And what I want to try and do in all these vlogs or in this podcast is tie everything that I speak about to the music, right? The music creators that I know are out there and are listening or watching this video. So stick around until right at the end. And I promise you that I'm going to bring this all back to talking to you as a musician or as a creative about your craft. So what are we talking about today? Today I want to talk about something about identity, right? Now, identity is such a big hot topic today. Whether you're talking about your identity as a man or a woman, whether you want to change your pronoun from he to her, from she to he. I mean, this is such a wide open topic that I really can't cover in this video alone, but that really is a topic for another debate. That's not what we're going to be talking about today. What I want to talk to you about today is how you identify yourself as a human being and what you do and how you tie that into what you do here on earth. Now, I remember a couple of weeks back, I was talking to my nieces and nephew about what their gifts are and what they have to give to the world and what their skills are, and then also what their talents are, and trying to understand exactly what their purpose is in life. Now, I don't know if you've seen a really interesting animated film called Soul, in which this cartoon character goes through life believing that he's meant to do one thing, and then as he goes on this journey, he actually discovers that in actual fact, the thing that he thought was his purpose actually wasn't his purpose. In fact, he just chosen that because he was inspired to do that. Now, I know personally that I've gone through the similar kind of experience where I thought, you know what, this is my identity. I'm an artist, and therefore that is my purpose. I want to go on that journey and to realize that actually being an artist wasn't my purpose. It was just one of the things that I was very, very good at doing. So here's something that I want you guys to keep in your mind as we talk about this. I'm going to be bringing this in many more videos. I want you to think of life and your journey in life as a pyramid, right? And at the base of this pyramid is your gift, right? Now, your gift is the thing that you have to give to the world. The gift is a thing that is of a natural nature to you, right? That's the thing that you're born with. In fact, some would argue that we as children are born knowing our gift. But then as we live throughout life, what happens is the world and the noise that's around us kind of tells us to be something else, right? It kind of teaches us, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of being a doctor, instead of being a caregiver, maybe you should actually be a lawyer. Or maybe instead of being a firefighter, you should actually work in an administrative job, right? And so there's many ways that as children, if you've ever asked a child, for example, what do you want to be when you grow up? And pay attention to what they say, because they'll probably say to you, hey, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a soldier, I want to be a doctor. Now, they might not actually want to be a doctor, but what they're communicating to you is something much deeper, which is, I actually want to heal people. Now, the next rung and the next stage up from that, if the bottom of that is the gift, then what is the next phase? The next phase is the talent. Now, the talent is something that you have that is innate in nature to you. In other words, it's something as an ability that you naturally have to do a certain particular set of skills. Right? So a talent is actually something like, if I'm an athlete, for example, I've heard people say this, that Roger Federer is a great tennis player, but he's also a good golfer and also a very good squash player. That's what I've been told, right? So what is Roger Federer's talent then? His talent is probably then his athleticism. It's his hand-eye coordination. It's his ability to react and to assess and to learn and to adapt and to use his body in a sport, in a competitive arena to thrive and be the top of his skill. Now, here's the key thing, right? Tennis is actually not Roger Federer's talent. That is his skill. And the skill is right at the top of that pyramid. Now, the skill is a thing that Roger chose to become an expert in. So if Roger wanted to go and be a football player, he'd probably be as good a football player. If he chose to be a golfer, he'd probably be as good a golfer. So anyway, why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because I want you to kind of think about what we identify ourselves as. That in life, sometimes you might go through life believing that your identity is placed within a specific area of expertise that maybe some other people told you about, that maybe your parents told you about, that maybe people at school told you about. In fact, maybe you might even be very, very good at that thing, but then you still don't feel totally fulfilled doing that thing. I'm going to share with you guys a little story about myself. I remember when I was growing up and I was always very talented at drawing and painting. In fact, I was so good at drawing and painting that I was literally about 2-3 years above all my peers whenever they were drawing or painting. And when they started using pencil, I was already painting. And when they started painting, I was already doing composition and all these kind of things, you know. So I thought for the longest time that art is my purpose, that my purpose lies within painting and drawing. And so because I believed that, I began to pursue a career in art. And I remember meeting up with one of my parents' good friends, and he said, listen, if you want to paint, I'm willing to give you my studio and you can come here and paint and just kind of spend a few months here. And he used to get paid quite a lot of money. In fact, he's actually in quite a few different galleries internationally. And he told me about how he would get paid £10,000 for a commission and a painting. But he also told me that at the same time, you could spend 3 months without getting a single commission as well. And I thought, okay, cool, let's try this. Sounds very, very good. I love painting. I love drawing. He, as somebody who was getting paid that much amount of money, said, you're actually quite talented, so you could actually do this. Why don't you borrow my studio? And here's what I started to do. I started to work on stuff. I started to paint my own stuff. Now, something dawned on me when people started to ask me to actually paint things for them and to paint on commission. In other words, when you're painting on commission is when somebody says to you, hey, I've got something I want you to paint. I want you to paint this. And I remember the first time somebody asked me to do that, and I remember just feeling like, man, this is just completely I'm not enjoying this at all. And I completely hated it. I hated essentially painting on commission. Even regardless of what amount that I was going to get paid, I was like, I absolutely hate this. I can't continue to do this. And I stopped that painting and I said, listen, I'm not going to take your money, but I can't do this painting for you because this is not really fulfilling to me. It was actually incredibly soul draining for me and I completely lost the inspiration for art. So I thought to myself, okay, well, if art isn't the thing, if getting paid for painting is so depressing for me, then how can I make money from my art? Now, here's when I came to an interesting realization, which is that I actually loved making music. And I thought, okay, well, I love making music. Music is another way of being creative, so I'll continue to make music. And music was a lot easier for me to instantly put myself out there and to enjoy myself doing the things I do. So I started making music and I just was doing it as a hobby, thinking I'm not going to get paid for this. I'm just going to do it as a hobby. And I continued to do that for a good number of years, about 7 or 8 years. And I got to the point where I got so good that people were like, hey, listen, you should really take your music seriously. You should put it out there because I think this is what you could be meant to do. And again, that noise, right? That noise comes around and tells you, you're really good at this. This is your purpose. There's nothing that you do apart from this. Just do this and you'll be successful. And although I wasn't convinced, I thought, well, it is true. I am pretty good at this. Maybe let me try and see how far ahead I can get with this. So here's what I did. I actually recorded some music because I'd been recording music for a long time. I made a video for it. I recorded it, I put it out there, and people were really impressed. I got a very good response from it. But here's the thing. I remember stopping just a couple of months after releasing my first song, and I remember thinking to myself, man, there is so much work that goes into the making music part of it is great. That's fun. That's easy. But there's so much work that goes into the promotion aspect of it, the actual being a professional artist of it that I wasn't ready for. And I was like, whoa, this isn't it. Becoming a professional musician isn't it. And again, I was at that point where I was like, well, if I'm so good at this, how can I be so good at this and also believe that it's something that I'm meant to do, but in actual fact, it actually leaves me being unfulfilled doing that and getting paid. So many times we hear about artists who are out there and, they're making the music and they're touring and they're doing X, Y, Z, but you hear about them saying that they're so miserable. I read an article not long ago, about a few weeks ago actually, where Andre 3000 said that he wishes that he could give all of it up. That he wishes that he would give everything up just to be normal. And I thought, wow. Now, a lot of people who heard that and read that article probably thought, well, that's Andre 3000 is one of the best rappers, alive. And why is he saying that he would rather give all that up? Now, Andre is a very talented, one of the most talented rappers and writers and lyricists out there. But there's something that he pointed out that really talks to the heart of the identity crisis that a lot of us have. That you could be stuck in a role that you're doing something that you're actually very, very good at, whether it's music, whether it's a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're working even in administration, whatever you're doing, and you're thinking, I thought I wanted to do this forever. But it really isn't the thing, and it's unfulfilling. What it is an identity crisis that you're having. Some people may call it a midlife crisis. I know there's some people who are having this crisis a lot younger as well. So what I encourage you to do is to think about that pyramid that I mentioned in the beginning, where we talk about your gifts, right? Where we start off with your gifts. Something that you as a child knew about yourself. What is that? That gift. There's something that you're meant to do that you're supposed to give to the world. That's the definition of a gift. It's something that I give to someone else. And your gift to the world is something that you must now find out. Just as the character in Saul did. He went through a journey where he thought that playing the piano was his ultimate purpose and perhaps his gift. but actually found that his gift wasn't something else, wasn't leading people in a different way. And I want to talk to you about actually understanding the purpose of your gift, and that when you start fulfilling your gift, that you will really start to feel fulfilled. So I'm sitting here in front of you right now, and I'm talking to you about identity. I'm talking to you about your gifts. I am going to talk to you about your talents and your skills and how you can actually figure that out more for yourself. But I found out for myself that actually my gift was to teach. And then I remember at a young age thinking back in everything I ever did. When we were playing as kids, when I was about 8, 7, 9, 10 years old, I would teach my friends how to play certain sports if they didn't know how to play them. And when I was in class and people asked me a question about how to do certain things, I would teach them how to do that. And I was very patient to do that. In fact, later on in my life, I ended up becoming a coach. And I remember being a coach and coaching kids and adults. And I just had this knack of just kind of getting across to people and getting the right message across to people, being able to actually understand the person that I'm speaking with, and actually being able to impart to them the knowledge that I think that they needed at that specific time. Now that is the gift. That is the ability to actually assess an individual and actually tell them exactly what they need to hear and where they need to go to get to the point that they need to get to. That is my gift. So what is music for me? Music is essentially at the top of that pyramid. It's just a skill. It's something that I learned. In other words, if I was a scientist, I'll be using my same gift to teach, but I'll be talking about science. If I was a mechanic, I'll be using that same gift to teach, but I'll be talking about mechanics, right? And where does the talent come in all this? What is my talent? My talent is actually, I'm going to give you a little bit of clue here. It's within being creative. I'm very creative in whatever I do. Even when I coach, I remember one coach asking me, he was like, where do you get all these drills from? You have all these drills and all these games that you have. Where do you get them? And I said, well, I just made them up. I just kind of create them. I remember going through my course actually, one of the tutors saying to me, this is one of the best courses that we've ever read because there are things in here that we've never seen before. That's because I'm a creative person. That is my talent. So my gift is to teach and to help people, to get people to where they need to be. And I align that with my talents, which is to be creative. So I creatively do that. And then I align that with the skill in my understanding of the industry that I'm interested in, which in this particular case is music and the music industry, to help artists and musicians get to where they go. So before I talk about artists and musicians and how we help them, I actually want to talk about helping you, whether you're an artist, whether you're not an artist, whether you are just a normal person who's just working in an office job. I want you to take a step back and to kind of go back to where you were as a child and ask yourself the question, what is my gift? What is the thing when I was 3, if you can remember back that far, 4, 5 years old, I think, that I said I really wanted to do? What is that thing? And try and remember the thing that you said when you really were a dreamer, before the world started to put its imprint on you, before people and teachers and friends started to influence you, before the noise of the world and what the expectations of the world was on you. Try and think about that and try and come back to that and say, what was that? What was that thing that I really said to myself I wanted to be? That's your gift. Now, after you think about that, I also want you to think about what are your talents. This might be a little bit more difficult to find because your talents are hidden within a lot of things. They're hidden within the things that you are able to do easily without necessarily thinking about it, right? But you have to think really careful about this. I know some people who are multi-talented. Some people are very smart, intelligent, and also very athletic, right? Does that mean that their talent is athletic or intelligence? That's something that I can't tell you, but we're gonna have to do a deep dive about that and how we break down each of these areas and how we can figure out what is your talent. And if you want to know more about that, then leave a message in the comment section because I've already written about this, and tell me what you would like to hear more about, and I can break it down for you in my understanding of what this means. And then we can talk about your skill, which is the easiest thing to understand, which a skill is simply a place, an area of expertise that you now put your effort into using your gifts and your talents to understand what part of the skill that you want to be more successful at. Again, when it comes to selecting your skill, that is a choice. Your skill is not necessarily your purpose. It is a choice that you make in the thing that you want to be successful at. And again, if you want me to break that down and make a specific video on just a skill, then let me know and I'll do that as well. So I hope that was helpful to you if you're not an artist anyway, because I hope that these principles and these philosophies are applicable to anyone and everyone, whether or not you're an artist or not. So if you feel that someone else would be helped by this video, share with them and have a discussion about what you think their gifts, their talents, and their skills are. Now, I want to talk to you as an artist, as a musician, as a singer, songwriter, producer, specifically about how we at 7th Century Music help you to discover exactly where is your gift, exactly where is your skill, exactly what is your talent, because you might be in a position where you're putting out music, but you don't really enjoy the marketing aspect of it. Maybe you might be in the position of maybe you're a good songwriter, but you actually don't know exactly if you want to be performing, in front of the stage. You might be actually a good performer, but you're not really good at the songwriting aspects of it. You're not really good at the marketing aspects of it. But you don't even really maybe enjoy essentially recording music. You enjoy the live music side of things. So if that's you, then our platform can really help you figure out exactly where in these areas of development that you sit as a musician, as an artist, as a recording artist, as a performing artist. We've built a software that allows every artist to actually essentially go into there, put their music on there. And when you put your music on the platform, it's actually able to tell you exactly who is interacting with their music and how they're interacting with their music. In other words, you can see the names and the emails and which country those people are from. Now, this is very, very important, and this is what I like to start with, because from this point, then you can really figure out exactly what you want to do with those people. Do you want to have a live event with those people? Do you want to have a recorded event with those people? Do you want to sell them your recorded music, your merchandise? Do you just want to talk to them and one-to-one, just as I'm doing with you, whether that's virtually or even that's live, right? In whatever format that you want to do that. But that all starts with having the right information and the right data. Now, our platform is also meant to do this thing in a very easy way in which it actually allows you to make more money with your music this way, without streaming your music, without putting your music on Spotify or Apple Music or any of those other platforms, but by simply being able to have the information that you can really act upon. In order to get you to the next phase and in order for you to help you understand exactly where you might be on this journey, we've actually created a 15 video set of courses that we want you to watch. And this is going to help you define exactly who you identify as and what you identify as, and whether that identity is the right identity for you. I'm going to guide you through those sessions, and we can talk within our own Facebook groups, within our own networks. You can just message us here on YouTube or Instagram. On Facebook is where we're mostly active. And we can have that discussion about your gifts, your talents, and your skills, and where that lies for you as an artist and how you intend to thrive with that information. So if you're interested in seeing more of that course material, then just sign up in this link. It's completely free. It's 15 videos just for free. And we are going to be extending those videos and making more of those types of videos to actually teach you more about different areas of all the music side of things, starting from the production, the songwriting, the marketing, the sales, and the fulfillment that we actually believe that artists need to have, including the mixing and mastering. So that's the 6 principles that we focus on for every artist. So if you're one of those artists who's still trying to figure it out, or maybe you're disillusioned with the way that things are, and maybe you're not sure on where you should go, then I think that's a very good place for you to start. So check out that link. It's completely free for everyone to start off with, and you can actually try our platform and see if that works for you. And also reach out to us on our social media channels and see if we can help you along on your journey. So thank you so much for your time. This actually ended up being longer than I expected it to be, but I hope you found some value in it, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you want to know more, simply put your question or your comment in the comment section down below, or simply reach out to us at our Facebook page or even on our website at 7thcentury.co.uk, and simply type in your message in the chat bar and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you guys find your identity. I hope you guys find your gifts, your talents, and your skills, and that you become successful. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. It lets me know, it lets us know that we're doing the right things, that we're doing the right content, that you guys actually enjoy what we're putting out here. And actually, if you want to see more content like this of a philosophical and spiritual nature relating back to your music, then I would love to release them. I've got a lot of content that I've got planned out for you guys, and I'm going to be trying to release that every single week. If you'd love to hear that, then do let me know, and I'll drop that as well as time goes on. Okay, so join us in the Facebook group, like and subscribe, click that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I release any one of these videos. I look forward to seeing you then. All right, take care. Bye-bye.